bell rang, the students hurried to their lab tables. Mr. Kincaid was strict about not talking, no matter what, once a test had started. Kara blew the blonde lock of hair that always hung down from her bangs and gave Karen a confident smile. But inside, she was anything but confident. She felt like kryptonite butterflies were banging around in her steel stomach until she got past the first two questions. Later, when she glanced up at the clock to make sure she would have enough time to check her work at the end, Kara noticed that Doris was leaning across her table, staring at Karen's test. Kara glared at Doris, who just smirked at her. "The nerve!" Kara fumed. "How dare she copy Karen's work?" Kara nudged Karen underneath the lab table. Karen needed to cover her paper. But Karen was so focused on her own work, she didn't even look up. So Kara glared at Doris some more. Being a rock and roll rebel was all well and good in most instances, but Kara wouldn't stand for cheating. "Stop copying," she mouthed at Doris. She didn't dare say it out loud. Mr. Kincaid's rule about no talking really meant no talking. Doris smiled and mouthed, "I can't hear you." Kara felt like her entire body might explode in anger. What a fiend! Kara knocked her foot lightly against Karen's underneath the table. Karen looked up at her, confused. Kara jerked her chin toward Doris. Karen sighed and shook her head firmly at Kara. She wanted Kara to drop it, but Kara couldn't drop it. Why should Doris get away with cheating? But Kara also respected her friend. She knew Karen didn't like being the center of attention. Kara didn't really understand that. She loved attention. Still, she didn't want to do something that would make Karen feel bad. So, Kara turned back to her paper. There were only 10 minutes before class was over, and she still had 3 more questions to answer. She took a deep breath and focused. She managed to answer them all before looking up again. This time, Doris had taken it too far. She was leaning halfway across the aisle to look at Karen's paper. "Stop it, Doris!" Kara snapped. Those words came out so loud and so fast that the floor rumbled a little. "Whoops." Kara slapped her hand over her mouth. Luckily, things like floor rumbles and mysterious happenings were kind of normal at Metropolis High. Not so luckily, Kara had broken Mr. Kincaid's biggest test rule. No talking. Karen looked at her with wide, shocked eyes. She couldn't believe Kara would go this far. Breaking the test rule was a big deal.
"Ms. Danvers, what do you think you're doing?"
Mr. Kincaid asked.
"Doris is copying Karen's test. She's been doing it this whole time," Kara said. "I can't stand by while such an injustice occurs."
"Hear, hear!" Diana cheered, raising her fist in passionate support.
"Ms. Prince, that is quite enough."
Mr. Kincaid shook his head in disappointment. "Mr. Kincaid, Kara was just trying to defend me," Karen said, looking terrified at breaking the no-talking rule herself.
"I just don't know what they're talking about, Mr. Kincaid,"
Doris said, batting her eyes innocently.
"She's lying,"
Kara protested. Harleen, who was sitting next to Doris, looked up from her test with a very annoyed frown. She scribbled something on her paper and then held it up. In addition to her test already being neatly completed, the outer edges of the page were covered in doodles, and on the top of the paper she had written in big block letters,
"Be quiet! I'm doodling."
"That's enough,"
Mr. Kincaid said, as Harleen put her test down before